I talk, you listen, or you turn the channel. Either way, I'm still going to talk. Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered. I'm going to start by apologizing tonight. I basically have no idea where this show is going to go. I'm going to start out with a story that I saw a show last week called Garbage Warrior. I'm going to start out with that. And the second half of the show, I'm going to talk about something that's really been... I've been having a hard time wrapping my mind around. This show, it aired on Sundance Channel last week, middle of last week or something. It was called Garbage Warrior. It was about a man named Michael Reynolds, who was an architect and old hippie, I guess you'd probably call him. But he builds what they call earth ships. And they're sustainable, self-sufficient homes. Homes that are off any grid. He's got 3 communities that he's put together so far. The first one started in 1989, was something that they called REACH, Rural Earthship Alternative Community Habitat. And it was built in the mountains just north of Taos, New Mexico. It was in a place where utilities could not go. It's 55 acres of steep mountain terrain. And right now, they're not currently accepting any new members in that community. The second community is called STAR, Social Transformation Alternative Republic. And it's just west of Taos. That was started in 1992, and it's 650 acres of rolling mesa, again, where utilities can't go. It's a very secluded and private community, and it's not currently accepting new members. That one, however, is planned to be open soon as a standard subdivision. The other one is Greater World Earthship Community, and it doesn't say exactly where it is, but it's a sustainable subdivision started in 1994. 633 acres of rolling mesas with a deep gorge, and lots are available. Ho ho! It's probably the most intense collection of independent, sustainable housing in the world. Now let me tell you about this sustainable, self-sufficient housing. It's basically just as advertised. They use new technology that is basically old technology. They use materials that are thrown away. Stuff like old tires, old glass and plastic bottles. They make bricks out of the bottles and the plastic bottles. The tires they ram with earth, and they become what is it? Thermal mass is what it's called. And it's neat because they collect all their water off their roof, and you know it's going to rain everywhere at some time. It's going to rain. So the water collects off the roof and is stored in cisterns underneath the house. The electric is generated by solar and wind turbines. And apparently in places where there's a lot of cloud cover, they're getting even more technological and using photovoltaic cells. Is that how you say it, Bruce? Something, yeah. It's in here anyway. But it's gathering sunlight and turning it directly into energy, into electricity. The water is neat because the same water is used for a number of things. It starts out being used for bathing and washing. It's then cycled, then recycled into gray water, and it's used to flush the toilets before it's taken out of the internal water system. After it's taken out of the internal water system, it's treated and used to water the plants in the gardens. So, I mean, and this guy fought for 3 years. After he put up his first little development, New Mexico basically shut him down. Told him, look, you can't build houses like this because they're not real houses. They're not built with sticks and, you know, the time-tested tradition of building like we all have. These are the tires, and they're bottles built into brick walls, and there's passive solar heating. There's the thermal mass, which keeps everything. The thing that got me, they said $100 a year utility bill for these places. And this guy, Michael Reynolds, says him and his wife have lived in one for more than 10 years now, or maybe it was 20 years. But he said it gets to 35 below zero outside. And for 10 years, they've never had a heating or cooling system. The house stays a constant 70 degrees. He says, we've got a fireplace, but we only use it on Christmas for ambiance. I mean, that's cool. And the video actually shows these guys building the houses in these little communities. And it's kind of reminiscent of the Amish, where it's everybody's helping everybody and pitching in. And you help your neighbors build their house, and they help you build your house. And it's the way that things have to be done. It's people helping people. It's communities coming together and being communities. They also, New Mexico pulled Michael Reynolds' architect license. That's how bad they wanted to shut him down. He fought for 3 years through the New Mexico state government to eventually get his architect's license back and get laws passed. Not laws. Anyway, something like laws passed for
codes or regulations or stuff like that.
Saying for these self-sustainable
legislature.
Experimental housing. So, and the people that live in them love them. But one of the things that the authorities didn't like at the beginning was the thought that you run your sewer through your living room. You know, you run the sewage through the living room, and of course it's probably not all exposed. You know, you probably don't have like a river of crap running through your house. You know, but everything's built and self-sustained. You don't need anything. And some of these houses were actually really beautiful. Some of them were downright ugly. But it's all stuff that this guy started in the 70s. And I mean, I used to, in 70s, I was real interested in the ecological movement and ecology and the hippie way of life, you know. And Mother Earth News was a magazine I subscribed to. And it was full of all these ideas like build your house underground, use the Earth's own
thermal
mass to keep yourself warm. You know, the Earth is insulation. And, you know, it was the passive solar, and let's look into alternative energies and fuels. And they were talking about ethanol back then in the 70s. As a matter of fact, I think in the back of the magazine, you could send away for a kit to build your own thing so you could make your own ethanol in your basement, you know?
They call it moonshine down south.
I mean, they call it. Yeah, and you know, once people realize that they can do that themselves, then you don't go to the gas station anymore, even if they are selling ethanol. But Anyway, it was a great show. Um, just you can Google Earthship, and it'll send you to all the sites. It's a fantastic idea.
It was an awesome show. I caught a lot of it myself, and the things that he did with the bottles, using different colored glass and things like that, he put them right in the walls. It let a lot of light through. A lot of it looked like stained glass artwork, the way he set it up, and the fact that he was making the walls the thickness of a tire laying down. You've got a 2-foot, 2.5-foot thick wall. Of course, it's going to retain heat and keep it nice and cool. It's a wonderful idea. The guy had some awesome concepts, but they were shutting him down because he didn't conform to normal architecture.
And so what did this guy do to prove everything? Actually, not so much to prove anything, but just to keep doing what he loved to do, which is build these Earthships. He went to the Andaman Islands in 2003, 2004, right after the big tsunamis hit. And he built villages of these sustainable housing and taught these people of these islands how to build these houses and how to use their trash and stuff that is only going to go in the landfill. And nobody bothered him because down there's no regulations. There's nothing saying you have to have a sewer pipe going to your house. These people probably didn't have sewage pipes before the tsunamis. And now they've got like great things. But anyway, and your voice of God's on still, Bruce. I could hear you telling these guys what to do. Sorry. Anyway, but it was a great story. He also went to New Orleans after the hurricane. I guess he did some building down there. But definitely Google Earthships and check it out because it's the way of the future. I'm telling you. We can put a stop to these money-hungry power companies once and for all. So that's the garbage warrior story. And if we're ready for crew call, Bruce, we'll go into crew call. Camera 1, we've got Rob, as usual. Ben here, doing a great job. Camera 3 is Greg. Still at it, still stocking footed. And getting ready to set up for his shot into the booth, where we have, all by himself, Bruce.
All by himself again. Forgot to turn the microphone off before, so hopefully it didn't come over too loud for everybody, but how's it going out there, Rick?
So far, you're doing a great job by yourself, Bruce. I gotta say, you haven't messed anything up.
Hardly screwed anything up so far, so that's a good thing.
Except for the microphone.
Details, minor details. If we were pros, we'd be getting paid for it. We're just messing around.
All right.
Well, speaking of messing around, I got some news from NASCAR from this past week. They ran the Samsung 500 down in Texas, and it was kind of a boring race. It's a big track. They go real fast, but nobody really crashed except in qualifying. Mike McDowell had a horrific crash in qualifying and hit the wall doing almost 200 and rolled the car about 8 or 9 times and ended up climbing out and hobbling away. He had a slight limp, but was better shortly thereafter. But amazing crash. But other than that, kind of boring. Carl Edwards ended up winning the race, followed by Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman, and Denny Hamlin came in 5th. Your boy. Jeff Burton had a good run, finished 6th. Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth, and Clint Boyer finished out the top 10 finishers. The big story of the race was, of course, Jeff Gordon. His car didn't work for crap. He never did find the setup, ended up having a minor mishap and pulled it to the garage. He finished dead last. So poor Jeff Gordon, but just like Jimmy Johnson last year, he didn't start off very well, but I expect he'll be back in the swing of things anytime and come back on strong. So never count him out. Because of how they finished, the standings shook up a little bit. Jeff Burton right now is in the lead in the AT&T number 31 for Richard Childress Racing, and his teammate Kevin Harvick moved up to second. Kyle Busch had a good finish, so he ended up moving up to third. Dale Jr. stays in fourth place. Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin all moved up. Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards, and Ryan Newman round out the top 10. Newman would have been eighth in the points. However, he did have an infraction after post-race inspection. They found that his right rear quarter panel was a little bit too high. So for the first time, they penalized only 25 points. It wasn't something to do with the body style of the car. They didn't change it aerodynamically or anything like that. They just made too many adjustments and burned off more fuel than they figured, and they were a little bit light in the rear end when they came in for post-race. But 25 driver and owner points for Ryan Newman, and $25,000 fine to the crew chief. But that penalty did drop him from 8th to 10th in the points for this week, so somewhat costly for Ryan Newman. The other news was Jeremy Mayfield was released from the Haas CNC Racing number 70 Sprint Cup car. Didn't give any reasons why, but they just released him from his driving obligations for that team, and they're going to be filling the seat this coming week with Johnny Sauter. It's a two-car team. The other car team is, or the other team is the 66 with Scott Riggs behind the wheel. So, and that's about it. This coming week is going to be a night race at Phoenix Saturday night. They're always fun, but it's one of the first races under the lights this season, so we're looking forward to that. Phoenix is always a good track, and Junior's finished well there before, so go Junior. Hope he does well. But beyond that, that's about all the news we've got, so we'll throw it back at you, buddy.
Thanks, Bruce. And I hope Andrea feels better.
Yes, she's still getting over the bronchial thing, and she'll be doing better soon.
Yeah. We
miss her here.
Well, we don't miss the hacking. She probably would have been in there making a lot of noise. So, all right. Well, Greg can head down to the bunker, and I'm going to talk about this. You actually pulled this story for me, Bruce. It's about a couple in Vallejo, California that got married. And I guess they had a wedding party at their home the night of the wedding, and it got a little out of hand. When police returned for a second time to the house, officers ended up stunning both the groom and his cousin with a taser when they both became aggressive toward the officers. The groom and the cousin were then arrested for allegedly resisting arrest, and the bride was taken into custody on suspicion of public intoxication. Great honeymoon.
Hell of a way to spend your honeymoon.
I bet the accommodations didn't cost them nothing either.
But they had separate beds.
Oh, see, it didn't say that. They probably did, though. I don't know. But kind of a stupid story. But a lesson to be learned. You know. I mean, weddings are great, and they're great times to get drunk. Which is why the bride and groom usually leave before the party really gets going. Yeah. God, I got hammered at my wedding. I mean, that should have been a sign right there. When you can't make it an afternoon without getting so stinking drunk. I think I had a fight with my best man, too. As a matter of fact, I was so drunk, and I didn't care. Somebody who does care, though, down in the bunker is Tarzan. How's it going, buddy?
Hey Rick, how the hell are you, buddy?
Not bad. What's up?
Well, you know, this is a sorry number, and it's 4,032, Rick, as of today.
That's a lot for this week, man.
I'm sorry to bring that number up, but you know, we have to look this war, this holy war we're in, Rick, straight in the eye, and just realize that the bureaucrats can't do a damn thing about it. not till at least 2010 before anything real becomes real for us Americans here in soil. It's ridiculous. I don't know how Petraeus can keep us on like this. We're still going to have 40,000 guys in there after we pull out 30,000.
Yeah.
Bring them home, give them a taste of freedom, and then ship them back. This is ridiculous, Rick. I'll tell you what else is ridiculous, Rick. The three gray queens I saw on TV today as I was channel surfing, Elton, Bill, and Hillary. I don't know. You know, Elton John needs to go back. Stop the madness, Elton John, and go back to where you're from. Don't talk bad about Americans because you can't even contribute to her campaign, but singing your pretty little love songs. You know, you're seeing through your rosy glasses. You need to take them off and see that we are Americans. We fight for our rights, and that's why we're in this battle, in this holy war we're in. Sorry about that if I rambled on for a second, but and another thing, Rick, these thugs who jumped probably a nice guy driving that adventure taxi. I hope this starts to calm down a little bit. You know, it's getting nice out. We don't even know what's going to happen the rest of the summer if thugs like this keep running around our great city of Keene.
No, and I mean I heard about that story, and that makes me nervous as a delivery driver.
What surprises me, Rick, is that what you said you would do if somebody attacked you, and for you to say that, I thought that was pretty brave of you, because these cats are gonna freaking jump anybody. You know what I mean? And so you got to protect yourself. And for you to say that, I thought that was you know, the real Rick.
Which answer did I give you? Did I give? I can't
know?
remember what I told you, but I probably told you I'd kill him, right? Barehanded?
Yeah.
You leave him on the street? Hell yeah. Yeah.
Rolling around the street, the city of Keene. Great city. I like this city. It's going to be a nice. The traffic's brutal, but you know, I got to take my hat off. Public Works did fix the 6 of the worst potholes on Lower Main Street Monday morning.
Great. See, they listen to you, Tarzan.
I thought that was the greatest thing going. I'm telling you, if you travel that road, you know it's dangerous, and you hit them holes. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm not just sitting here in Cheshire Bunker and winding off. I'm probably speaking for quite a few people.
Oh yeah, yep.
And I got to tell you, I got some advice for Toby Island. I heard you like throwing your pennies away. Stop the madness. Save the pennies in a cup. Take them down to the coin counter, turn it into paper dollars, put it back into your show, bro. There you go. I've solved it for you. How long did it take me to solve that? And I hope Toby's girlfriend's listening. Tell him to stop doing that. It's madness. We can't have it.
Yeah,
I
I know a lot of people like that too that just throw their pennies away, man.
But there's a new thing, Rick, and it's called a coin counter.
Yeah.
You can put just about anything you can carry down in there that's legal.
Exactly.
There's no need of throwing them away anymore. Throw them at Cheshire TV or something, you know. I don't. Oh my word.
Yeah, throw them out here on the lawn. We'll go out and pick them up. We don't care.
That's it. We need a fountain out here. We can take Toby's pennies and put them in a fountain.
There we
my
go.
Word, Rick. You know, don't you have a segment coming up of some really hot music?
I do tonight. Yeah, we do have another great musical piece. Are you all? You said your piece?
You know, I got a lot of beefs, but I'm not going to take them out on you or the viewers. So I think Tarzan's out of here, Rick.
That's cool. You have a good week, buddy.
You too, man. Later.
Yes. And speaking of the musical interlude, we have a great clip tonight that we're going to give you right now. It's, once again, Long Before Techno.
Live your days.
My people are leaving me all alone.
And a mile how the time just fly when you're finding your stride. Time to go home. And just when I start to groove, everything come unglued. And now you whoa, whoa. Your picture perfect view fade away. If I too soon, yeah, that's for sure. Find the flow, but don't get caught in the undertow. Mind the way you live, yo. The way you live, yo. Find the flow, but don't get caught in the undertow. Mind the way you live, yeah. The way you live your days, yeah. The way you live your days, yeah. The way you live your days. And now you're searching for a way to take it back to the day we had it all. A lot less of burden often can be learning to you fall. You fall flat and face finish your last in the race, but you're almost there. So pick yourself off the ground so you can go another round if you dare, or if you care, or if you dare to face the truth that might be much less cruel than they hope to be. Well, the things of that we care, what sometimes cause the most despair. Oh, can't you see? Just when starts to it can be a real godsend, and now your self-defeated view wind up making itself do, yeah, that's for sure. Find the flow, but don't get caught in the undertow. Find the way you live, yeah, the way you live, yeah. Find the flow, but don't get caught in the undertow. Find the way you live, yeah, the way you live your days, yeah. The way you live your days, yeah. The way you live your days, the way you live your days, yeah.
Long before techno. Yeah. Oh, there's some talented kids, man. Yeah, I got a bunch more too. And Saturday we're going to be getting more because Battle of the Bands at Spalding Gymnasium Saturday evening. I believe the show starts at 6:30, I think. But speaking of other shows, catch the world television premiere. I've always wanted to say that. The world television premiere of Ladies of the Rainbow Spring Bling. That's right, the drag show. Sunday evening at 10 p.m. If you miss it Sunday evening, you can catch it Tuesday evening at 10 p.m. or Friday evening at 10 p.m. If the dirty stuff isn't your thing, this week, why not try checking out Keene High School's performance of Midsummer Night's Dream. 2 p.m. on Monday, 7 p.m. on Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Thursday, and again at noon on Saturday. The Keene High School production of Midsummer Night's Dream. Lee directed it, and I'm sure he did a fantastic job with it. So those are the two biggies on Cheshire TV this week. So,
We got to stop doing those drag shows, man.
why?
Well, they use modern music, I mean current today's music, and I have to listen to this stuff on the radio, and every time a particular song comes on, I keep having flashbacks, man. It's getting bad.
Sorry.
I'm going to need therapy.
You may need therapy. We're all going to need therapy after all this is over. All right. Did the TV stuff. I did that. All right. Last week, it was a story about a group of third graders that were plotting against their teacher. And I still barely got my mind wrapped around that whole deal when the next story broke. 6 teenage girls in Polk County, Florida, on videotape beating another girl senseless. This is an appalling video, and we've only seen about 30 seconds of it. That's all they're airing on all the news shows is 30 seconds of that tape. The tape is over 30 minutes long. They beat this girl until she was unconscious, waited for her to wake up, and then beat her some more. The mother is acting like she had nothing to do with it, but it seems to me like at one point in that video, you can hear somebody say, "You get her, baby." That sounds like somebody's mother to me. So, 6 girls, teenage girls, probably was 16, 17 years old, 14 to 18, have been arrested. And I hope they spend 20 years in jail. They make an example of these girls. There was 2 boys there that stood outside as lookouts. If you haven't seen this video, check it out. If you have seen this video and you're tired of watching it and it makes you sick every time you watch it, think of this fact. These girls made that videotape because they were going to put it on YouTube as entertainment. This is what is entertaining our youth these days. And I'm ready to go off on the teenagers. And a lot of it is their fault. A lot of it is our fault. I'm sorry. My fault. Greg's fault. Everybody else's fault. Parents' fault. For the simple fact that I was brought up in a fairly strict house. I had to tell my parents where I was going, when I was going to be home, and there were consequences. And there weren't consequences like timeouts. My consequences were a good smack. And that was what you got. So you didn't screw up a lot, because it did hurt.
Our parents taught us responsibility.
And what did we? We spent our life saying, I'm not going to be like my parents. I'm not going to raise my parents like my parents raised me. Ha. Hence the mess we've gotten ourselves into with wild, unruly kids. On top of the fact that we've taken that mindset that we weren't going to raise our kids the way our parents raised us, we now have the mass media, the internet, MySpace and YouTube. This beating was all over the fact that this girl that got beat apparently said something bad about one of the other girls on MySpace. Hey, solution to that whole problem. Get rid of MySpace. Plain and simple. Get it off the internet so that kids can't be at each other's throats. See how easy that is? That's right. Pull the wires out of the back of your computer. If there's no computer in your house and your kid has no access to a computer, then the only way that the kid to hear anything bad about him is by word of mouth, which is how it used to be. I mean, sure, back when we were kids, people said bad stuff. You had your little cliques and your little groups, and these people hated this people, and these people hated these people. And it was still, people were getting beat up, even back then. But it wasn't so easy. It would take months and months for what he said to get back to this person. And it wasn't as violent. And I don't know why it wasn't so violent, but it just wasn't. YouTube is famous for making whatever you do on videotape accessible to everybody in the world. And I don't spend a lot of time on YouTube, but Sean was looking at some music the other day on YouTube, and I can't remember. I hit YouTube for something at your house, Bruce, on the computer, and the whatever it was, selected videos or whatever, where they give you a little listing of some of the sample stuff that they're showing. Listen to these titles. Fat guy with guns. And this was a video of a big, like 600-pound guy shooting guns. I mean, where do we find time for this? You know? The other one that I saw was it showed a little baby on a blanket. Couldn't even walk. Like, I'm talking a baby, barely crawling. And a snake in front of it. And the snake bit the kid on the head. And the guy with the camera did nothing except filmed it.
That's child abuse. Person ought to be put in jail.
I mean, and it's all this
They
stupid
shouldn't
stuff.
be responsible for the well-being of a child.
Oh my God. And I see it, once again, I don't want to say the internet's not a good thing, but I think we've taken the internet to a place where it wasn't supposed to go. The internet was never meant as a social tool. It was meant as a tool, as an informational tool, not as, you know, how to hook up with somebody else. It's not about making friends. The internet was originally designed to pass information through the whole world. Instead of writing letters and saying, please send me this, mailing it out, waiting 4 to 6 weeks for an answer to come back. No. You know, if you've got, God, my TV's making funny pictures. You used to have to sit down and write a letter. Dear Sony, your TV's a piece of crap. What's wrong with it? And you send that to them, and then after however long it took, they sent you a letter back saying, well, it's probably not the TV, it's probably just your cable connection. So you'd sit down and you'd write another letter. Dear cable company, your cable connections really suck. On and on and on. And it took you forever to get stuff done. And now it's a simple fact that, I mean, I use the phone, but if I had a computer at my house and I happened to be channel surfing and saw that Cheshire TV was showing black screen or was really weird or something, I would sit down at the computer and go, Lee, your TV's doing weird stuff. And it would pop up on his computer. Lee's a man that email is basically, unless you're talking to him face to face, and even if you are talking to him face to face, if you're making plans, Lee is an email person. Email him dates, times, he remembers stuff that way. And it's his easiest way of corresponding. And I've got to admit, Bruce, since the whole text thing, I mean, I would just as soon get a text message on my phone than to have to take a phone call. Because it is easier. That way I can just read it and ignore it, instead of having to look at the phone and going, well, no, I'm not going to answer it. The thing goes beep, beep, beep. I go, I got a message. And it's, you know, so-and-so, hey, you want to do this? I can either answer them or I can ignore it. You know, but at least I know what they wanted. Lately, I've been getting sales stuff, texts, little Walmart promotions and stuff, different little promotions from this person and that person, all on the text. And of course, I've learned it doesn't charge you if you don't open it. So I go right to erase. And it erases it. But let's get back to these girls and kids these days and the internet. Because I want to tell you, I truly believe that if the internet was 30 years earlier, or let's say 35 years earlier, let's say we had the internet in 1968. What do you think, Greg? Well, if the hippies had control of the internet back in the late 70s, early 80s, or the late 60s, early 70s, when we were fighting against nuclear power, we were trying to tell everybody, there's nothing really bad with pot. People smoke it and we just get real mellow. We like to lay around and chain ourselves to fences, nonviolent protests. And back then, there weren't video cameras. There weren't anything. So these protests at Seabrook, sure, there were hippies getting beat left and right with sticks back then, but nobody to capture it on film. And the news channels wouldn't show the stuff back then. They wouldn't just blatantly come out and go, oh, look, we had cops beating hippies. Oh, no, we got the footage, but we'll just, we'll show them being dragged away instead. And we won't show any of that stuff because that was when the media was all behind the police department and not the citizens. But that was what it was like with the activists back then. And I heard the other day somebody said something about the Reverend Wright being the same way as Martin Luther King. I think it was on The View. Basically, they were right. And there's one difference. The difference is the media. The instant gratification we get from the internet, the sound bites, the constant loops. I mean, if you took if you took an entire speech by Martin Luther King, you took out 2 or 3 things that he said about white people and strung them all together and played them over and over and over again, Martin Luther King would have sounded like a racist. He would have. But this is the way that change happens. Somebody like Martin Luther King being man enough to stand up and say, look, the way that we're acting is wrong. And he wasn't stirring up violence. He wasn't the one that coined the phrase kill whitey, I don't think. Somebody did. It was one of them black radical, black militant groups or something back then. But everybody's had their groups. And the internet would have just, imagine the power the hippies would have had if we had the internet. We'd probably be in a non-nuclear, everybody laying around smoking pot with Peter Max paintings all over the place, just like grooving. And I really think that that's how it would be if the hippies could have. But no, the hippies was more like grassroots. If you were in this town, it was very hard to connect the coasts. So if you had your hippies on the West Coast working for the same goal the hippies on the East Coast, there was no real way to get them together unless they each hitchhiked to Missouri or something, and met in the middle. But I don't know. The internet, it's got too much power, along with, these social sites that are just a joke. That's why you have email. But kids don't email each other back and forth using their email accounts because it's more traceable, I think. I don't know. Whereas on MySpace, they don't have to have their real name. They don't have to have their real picture. It's pretty much anonymous, and you can basically say whatever you want. There's no rules against slander. And it's the big thing it's just, my thing is get rid of the internet. Get rid of computers. No, we don't need it. We don't need it. Put people back in charge of shuffling papers and sending out information. That's jobs. It creates jobs. Without email, the United States Postal Service grows huge again.
That's why cost of postage keeps going up. They have to cut back on personnel.
Exactly. Because everybody's doing their stuff through, I mean, even bill paying is done over the internet. And look at the hassles that that's causing with just with security issues.
It's turning into an impersonal society where you don't even have to talk to the person right next to you.
That's right. And so impersonal that I'm wondering if a lot of these kids actually know fantasy and reality after the internet. I don't know. I just know that as a parent, it appalls me what these girls did and that they're showing this video. Their intention was that they were going to put it on YouTube and be famous.
Completely premeditated.
Yeah.
Assault.
Yeah. And, I mean, no need even for a trial. Show the judge the film and then lock them up for 20 years. The gun thing can be handled the same way. If you commit a crime with a gun, immediately, no court, no nothing, 50 years in jail. How many people would actually be sentenced before things started to back down? And if they said, if you killed somebody with a gun, well, guess what? We're not even going to put you in jail. We're just going to kill you. Maybe with your own bullets, yeah. But it's time in America, we have to stop acting like such pussies. Plain and simple. We've got to stand up and demand that we start setting some examples.
People take responsibility for their actions.
Right.
And they are held accountable.
Right. I mean, I messed up 15 years ago, and it still follows me.
My opinion is that you should ought to have to get, a license, go through some type of qualification before you can be a parent. Because
Geez, that might help.
You need to be responsible enough to raise a child to be responsible and stand up for themselves. And if you can't even do that and think that way yourself, you shouldn't be a parent. You shouldn't be responsible for somebody else.
Well, you're right.
My own opinion.
It's a lot in the education system. We have to add this kind of thing to education. We have to add, nonviolence, studies in nonviolence, studies in, relationships. Teach kids that relationships are two-way, they're not abusive. I mean, it all starts in education. We have to, this was a story I heard on Fox News Red Eye show that's on in the middle of the night because that's when I'm up. And a study was done that shows there's a huge number of teenagers that think that drinking a cap of bleach will prevent getting AIDS. How retarded is this? Oh my God, if you want to check out that theory, here's my clue. Drink a quart of bleach, and then you'll never get AIDS. Of course, you'll never get any older either.
Some side effects may apply.
Yeah. If you drink bleach, there's a lot of side effects: heartburn, indigestion, loose stool,
Bleeding from your eyes.
bleeding from your eyes, and
May have anal leakage.
yeah, it may be a cure for HIV, but it's also a cure for breathing. So, and it's this type of thinking where kids, and God knows, somebody probably saw it on the internet. On YouTube, yeah, here's the cure for AIDS. Drink a cap full of bleach, and you're all set. No, wrong. There's only one way to never ever get AIDS, and that's to never ever have sex with another person. You'll never get AIDS from yourself. I'm just saying. So they could be heterosexual, bisexual, and misexual. That's right, bisexual. Tell your friends. That's all you have to do. When they say, "Are you a virgin?" Say, "I'm not a virgin, I'm bisexual. I only have sex with myself because it's safe." That's it. I mean, it's better than abstinence. I mean, you gotta have some kind of release. I'm just saying. You know, yeah, I mean, if that's what you're going to teach your kids, this is birth control and disease control is abstinence, then teach them about masturbation. You know? I mean, because other than abstinence, that's the only way.
It's better to go blind and need glasses than die from AIDS.
And you know, that's never been proven. It's never, the hair on the palm thing's never been proven. I mean, I don't know. Even the link between fantasizing and rapists, I mean, you know, it's horrible. It's all in our thinking, the way that we're educated. And, you know, we're bringing our kids up fairly stupid. We're telling them that they're as important as adults. And they're not as important as adults until they're adults. They're still kids. Treat them like kids, and they should act like kids.
Back in the 70s, there were a lot of things that are going on today that were considered unacceptable behavior in society.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's acceptable, and you can do crazy things walking down the street that people would have put you in jail for 30 years ago.
Right, right. And, I mean, and the movies have gotten worse. When I was a kid, movies were about, you know, going into outer space, you know, what creatures we were going to have to fight out there as we conquered space. Or it was, again, about, you know, the high-level Secret Service agent James Bond after the notorious Dr. No, you know? I mean, not real people. There wasn't, I mean, it was violent, but it was violence that you knew was just movie violence.
And it was good fighting evil.
And it was good against evil. Yeah. It wasn't the street gang against the street gang. You know, or mom killing her kids. Lifetime Network is going to be one of the worst movies for Lifetime. What is it? Television for women. Oh, yeah. And it's all movies about rapes and child abuse. And
Yeah, why did you thank you?
that's what women want to watch. You know? I don't know. But something has to be done about our kids. Because it's third graders attacking teachers. It's teenage girls, for God's sakes. And the sheriff down there says they exhibited pack mentality. Yeah. When I read that, I said, my God, it's Mad Max. It's the beginning of the Road Warrior, is what it is. And is that the way we're gonna, I mean, the packs of young girls will be running through the streets, tearing people open and eating them? You know? Like wild dogs. It's, like I said last week, man, I am so glad that I'm pushing 50 years old and I'm not going to be here to see the absolute worst of this. What? Oh. Lucky you, Rob. Yeah, you'll be here. You probably won't even see the worst of it. You may get lucky. But your kids or your grandkids are screwed. Oh, yeah. You know, unless something changes. It's up to you, my friend. It's up to you. We screwed it up.
Our generation didn't do it right. It's up to you, buddy.
Take the helm.
Some big shoes, Phil.
Yeah, but you know what they say about big shoes. Big toes, yeah. No, man. raise your kids right, teach them, forget about the book learning with your kids. Don't stress that. Stress the common sense, the moral aspects, don't hurt anybody. I mean, that's should be the biggest thing, mentally, verbally, physically, whatever. Don't hurt anybody. Peace is what we're fighting for. And I don't know, because
Treat those how you'd like to be treated. The golden rule kind of thing.
exactly. And remember that life's not fair. You won't always win. You'll fail a lot. I mean, this is episode number 75, and we haven't got one right yet. We failed every damn time.
Well, we screw something up.
Because we strike out, 3 strikes, we sit down for another week. And we come back up. We'll try it again. Gets a little better every time, by maybe another 10 years, 15 years. I got right by the numbers, man, Maybe. But if not, oh well. And it's that constant, you don't learn unless you fail. We learned tonight, didn't we, Bruce? Color bars on the monitors. My God, color bars on the monitors. And there's so many buttons on that switcher. Why the hell do we have color bars? We had to yell to Lee. Because we're stupid. Lee, how come we got color bars? Oh, well, this is why. You got to push.
At least it wasn't the recorder.
You got to push this button here.
At least it wasn't the recorder.
At least, no, we've got the recorder down. That was a learning experience from a few weeks back. But no, we got to that, and then it was the color bars. So, what do? Call for Lee. Like I said, because we're stupid.
We learned something today. Our day is complete.
And Lee came in and says, oh yeah, it's this section of the switcher right here, and this is what it does, and you push this button, you slide this thing up. What are you guys, stupid? He wouldn't say that. But that's what he was thinking. Can't these guys figure anything out for themselves? No, we can't. God. Anyway, I don't know. I just have such a hard time wrapping my whole mind around the whole deal. And like I said, we have to do something. All right. I didn't pull out the right card. What do we got? 3 minutes?
No.
No, we got 2 minutes. 1 minute. All right. Up next on No Spin, Chris and Randy are honored to have Senator Molly Kelly as their guest tonight, talking about state issues. I'd like to know if she has any opinion on the increasing violence as far as teenagers, and if anything can be done through the educational system as far as that. Maybe Chris and Randy can ask her that for me. But it's bound to be a great show. Molly Kelly's always a great guest to have on any show here on Cheshire TV. Such a great lady. I want to thank my crew, Rob and Greg and Bruce. I hope Andrea's feeling better. Thank Lee and Cheshire TV. Thank Tarzan for another great segment. Am I forgetting anything? Don't forget Ladies of the Rainbow Spring Bling, Sunday p.m. at 10 o'clock, the world television premiere. You can also catch it Tuesday night at 10 p.m., Friday night at 10 p.m. The following week, it'll be either aired at 10 p.m. Or midnight. We'll get all the dates to Susan for her website. Thank Mom's Tattoo, Gemini Screen Print. Till next week. Yeah, I told you I had no idea where we were going.